What's going down, guys? It's Courtney, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a very wonderful book haul. I'm going to apologize for the humming sound you hear in the background. That is my heater. My room is in the basement, and it gets really cold down here, so yeah, I need it. I have so many books here that I want to get off of my floor and onto my shelves. I've done a lot of book shopping. I've gotten books from the Dollar Store, Amazon, Second & Charles, Book Outlet, Thrift Books, Ollie's, etc. And, you know, like I said, I'm ready to get them on my shelf, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to try to get through as many books as I can in a very short amount of time, so please bear with me. I will do my best with descriptions. First up, I have Elias Hook by Lisa Jensen, which is kind of like a Peter Pan retelling except from the point of view of Captain Hook. So it goes into his backstory and kind of explains why he is the villain that we know him to be, and it also introduces a new character named Stella, who just might be his redemption. Next, I have Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty, which was actually a Christmas gift, and I'm planning on buddy reading this with my mom, so I'm super excited about that. I don't know a lot about this book. I know that there's a murder that takes place and 3 women might be suspects, but it delves into their lives a little bit, and I just heard that this is a really funny and entertaining read, so I'm looking forward to it. Next, I have Furthermore by Tahata Mafi, which is a middle grade novel about a girl who goes on an adventure into Furthermore to find her father after he goes missing. Furthermore is this really strange and dangerous and magical place where very whimsical things happen, and so she relies on a boy named Oliver to guide her through it. Next up I have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I don't know a lot about this particular story, however I've been really interested in Agatha Christie's books. I have a ton of them. I've never read them. This is one that I didn't have, and so I picked it up. I think I'll enjoy this more going into it, not knowing what it's about. Then I have The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, and honestly, I don't know a lot about this book either. I think I picked this up because one of my YouTube buddies left it a good review or something like that. I believe it is historical fiction. Yeah, it's historical fiction, so... I have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, which I actually already read, and, it got me, and it freaking hurt, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. It was good. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Just read it. Just read it. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but I will read the inside flap here because it's like really short. There's not much of a description for this book, and I like that. Okay. A beautiful and distinguished family, a private island, a brilliant, damaged girl, a passionate political boy, a group of 4 friends, the Liars, whose friendship turns destructive, a revolution, an accident, a secret, lies upon lies, true love, the truth. And then I love what it says here at the bottom. It says, We Were Liars is a modern, sophisticated suspense novel from National Book Award finalist and Prince Award honoree E. Lockhart. Read it, and if anyone asks you how it ends, just lie. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I told my sisters, so I couldn't help it. I know I'm terrible, but I do like that. I like that a lot. I'm trying not to make this a long video. I've only gotten through like 6 books, and I think I've gone over 3 minutes now, maybe. Oh gosh. So let's speed this up. I have The Rumpelstiltskin Problem by Vivian van Velde, which is like a collection of stories, retellings about Rumpelstiltskin. Next I have Distant Waves by Suzanne Wayne, which is a novel of the Titanic, as it says here. It's about 5 sisters who are beginning to take different journeys that all have the same starting point, the Titanic. Next I have The Dark Army by Joseph Delaney, which is the 2nd book in the sequel trilogy to the Last Apprentice series. I haven't read the 1st book yet. I just want to have all of them before I make my way to the end. Also by Joseph Delaney, I picked up books 8 and 9 in the Last Apprentice series because I didn't have them. I mean, I have them just on Kindle. Oh, and Curse of the Bane, which is the 2nd book in the series. Then I have Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which is about a circus and sisters. That's about as much as I know. I've heard great things about it though, you know, and I like circuses and sisters, so looking forward to reading this one. When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. This is a rom-com about 2 people whose parents decide to arrange a marriage for them, between them, and one of them is perfectly fine with the idea of an arranged marriage, and the other just wants to focus on her education. So this is probably going to be pretty funny. I've heard great things about this, and I'm really excited to read it. And I love the back cover. Fade by Lizzie McMahon is the 2nd book in the Wake trilogy. I've read the 1st one and I enjoyed it, so I had to pick up the 2nd one. Monstrous by Marcy Kate Connolly, which I actually bought because my buddy Sylvia Kay hauled it and it looked really interesting. This book is about a town that has been cursed by an evil wizard, and all these girls are getting sick and disappearing, and this one monstrous girl decides that she's going to go in and save them. And then she befriends this boy who's perfectly normal, I think. Or something like that. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I read it. Next I have The Rose Garden by Susanna Kersley, and I'm absolutely in love with this cover. It is so beautiful. After Eva Ward goes back to the place where she spent her summers as a child, mysterious things begin to happen, including falling in love with a man from a different time. Eva is forced to confront her own ghosts as well as the ghosts of her past, and decide where she truly belongs. Next I have Grasshopper's Pillow and Brilliance of the Moon, which are the second and third book in the Tales of the Otori series by Lan Hearn. I haven't read the first one yet, but I know I'm going to, and I want to read them all at the same time. So yeah, I just picked these two up. I also picked up this beautifully humongous collection of Edgar Allan Poe's stories. I mean, this is everything. I have a book that has everything in it, but I really like this edition, so I had to have it, and it's one of my favorite books, so yeah, I had to pick it up. I also have 4 by Veronica Roth, which I'm really excited about. I don't know why I haven't read this yet because I absolutely loved Divergent. And this is a few stories from 4's point of view. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and I honestly do not know what this book is about. All I know is that I'm really enjoying the Mortal Instruments series, and I had to pick up the prequel series. I have all 3 books in hardcover, and I'm collecting them in paperback. Speaking of Cassandra Clare, I also have Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows, and these books are so big. I got these for like really cheap on Amazon. I don't know what was going on. I thought it might have been a glitch or something, but yeah, I definitely took advantage of that. They were like $5, $6 each. I don't know where these fall on the Mortal Instruments timeline. However, I will find out when I finally get to them. Forgot I had Gone by Lisa McMahon. This is the 3rd book in the Wake trilogy. The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, which is the prequel novel to the Throne of Glass series. Next I have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which was also a Christmas present, and don't know a lot about this book. Hannah from A Clockwork Reader gave this a really good review, so I picked it up. I've decided that this is going to be my introduction to John Green. I will not start with Paper Towns. I'm going to start with this one, because I hear this one is way better. Next I have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which is a retelling of The Queen of Hearts. I'm currently reading the Lunar Chronicles, and I'm on the 4th and final book in the series, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. I've heard great things about this book, so I'm really excited to jump into this one after I finished the Lunar Chronicles. Next I have A Swift Pure Cry by Siobhan Dowd, which I actually picked up because I read A Monster Calls, and after finding out that that was her idea, I was really interested in reading more of her work. It was a really, really beautiful idea, and A Monster Calls was a really good book. Although it was written by Patrick Ness because Siobhan Dowd passed away and she couldn't finish writing it. After 15-year-old Shell's mother passes away, her father turns his back on reality, and so she is left to look after her younger siblings. Shell has stopped going to school, and she stopped going to church, and she's doing things that 15-year-olds shouldn't do. But when a new priest comes to town, suddenly her mother's spirit returns, and Shell finds herself in a pink dress that she finds in the back of her father's closet, which somehow puts her at the center of a scandal or something like that. Apparently this is based on a true story, so yeah, this will be really interesting to read. Next I have The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner, which I'm actually going to read the description on the back because it is crazy short. I can steal anything. After Jen's bragging lands him in the king's prison, the chances of escape look slim. Then the king's scholar, the Magus, needs the thief's skills for a seemingly impossible task, to steal a hidden treasure from another land. To the Magus, Jen is just a tool, but Jen is a trickster and a survivor with a plan of his own. Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I actually read the back of this book today because I knew what this was about, but I didn't know that the character is actually in love with Jack the Ripper. It's so weird. It literally says, he murdered women in cold blood. He terrorized an entire city. He taunted those of us who hunted him down. But despite all these horrors, in the end, I could not deny it. I was the girl who loved the Ripper. It's so sick. I actually want to read it right now, just after reading that. Next I have The River of No Return by B. Ridgway, and this is a historical fiction about time travel. And I love stories about time travel and historical fiction, so the combination is going to be perfect, I'm sure. I've heard great things about this book, and so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know a lot about the actual story, so that's all I have for you. Next, I have The Uninvited by Kat Winters, which is a historical fiction / ghost story set in the 1920s, and that's about as much as I know about it. But I absolutely love historical fiction ghost stories with gothic settings. So that's why I picked this up, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Speaking of gothic historical fiction ghost stories, I also picked up An Inquiry into Love and Death and The Other Side of Midnight by Simone St. James. And I have really been enjoying Simone St. James' work. I've read 2 of her books so far, and her books are just so atmospheric and gothic and perfect. And they're set in the 1920s, and I just absolutely love them so much. She's just such a great writer, and her stories will really draw you in and make you just want to be in that world. Well, a little bit. And her stories they're really good. I highly recommend them. However, they are for adults, so yeah, they're for adults. They're not YA. These are adult stories. These books are really, really great. I mean, they have romance, and they're kind of creepy, and they're just really wonderful. I'm going to talk about this next because you could see it on the top of the pile over there, and it is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. A world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all those things, and has even conquered death. Now scythes are the only ones who can end life, and they are commanded to do so in order to keep the size of the population under control. Citra and Rowan are chosen to apprentice to a scythe, a role that neither wants. These teens must master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequence of failure could mean losing their own. All that death and stuff sounds so interesting. Next I have Doctor Who: The Clockwise Man by Justin Richards, which is just the first episode of Doctor Who in book form. This was recommended to me by a friend, and so that's why I picked it up. I also have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I got this for $1 at a yard sale, and it is in near perfect condition, so that was a great buy. The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. I don't know much about this at all, actually, and I found this at Goodwill for really cheap, so I just picked it up because it looked interesting. I do know it's a historical fiction. The Chronicle of Crime, the most famous crimes in modern history by Martin Fido. The Lawless Decade by Paul Sand. This is a pictorial history of a great American transition from the World War I armistice and prohibition to repeal and the New Deal. And The Heart of the Night by Judith Lennox. This story is about Kay and Miranda, who become friends when Kay is hired to be Miranda's companion. Miranda falls in love with a man her father would never approve of, and Kay, being the good friend she is, keeps it a secret. But when Miranda's father finds out, Kay is fired and left stranded and penniless in Nazi Berlin. This sets forth a string of events that will change the 2 girls' lives forever, leading them into danger, but also giving them the chance to find love where they least expected. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here because I know this is probably going to be super long, and there will definitely be a part 2 because I still have a lot of books left to show you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next video.